Hello and welcome into another edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Sammy Miller, alongside your broadcasters, Ian Nicholas and Dylan Pescatore. We are back home at Eldridge Park after last night's tough 6-5 loss against the Bourne Braves. And last night, Dylan, Kelly Nicholson said that they really didn't deserve to win the game. They didn't run the bases well, they didn't pitch well, and they didn't play well defensively. So what did you see from those three parts of the game?
I saw fundamentals that weren't being met. Base running, it was in the second inning. Henry Hunter went to third base, didn't know where the ball was. He was tagged out. Then you go to defensive, the eighth inning, where it kind of just fell apart for the Firebirds. Two errors, one by Jack Penny and one by Andy Blake, which really just allowed runners on and put so much pressure on Connor Eaton to be great. He didn't have his best stuff that day. Overall, it was not a good day for the Firebirds when it comes to playing fundamental baseball, and you can't win that way when you're not hitting the basics well.
And speaking of pitching, that was one of their weaknesses. We saw 5 different arms, and they only combined for 6 Ks. So, Ian, what were you seeing from the guys on the bump?
Well, it was a bullpen day, so obviously not a flamethrower out there to start the game. Sam Leboki was expected to go 40 to 45 pitches, could not make it through 2 innings, struggled a little bit on the mound. Derek Clark did a great job. He's not a big strikeout guy, though, so there's a reason why he gets a lot of outs, but not necessarily a lot of strikeouts. He even picked off a couple guys on the base pass. And then the back of the bullpen wasn't as strong as it usually is. Connor Eaton out of George Mason was doing really well out of a bullpen heading into last night. A few things didn't break his way in that 8th inning. Dylan already mentioned a couple of errors that didn't help him out and led to 4 runs being scored in the bottom of the 8th from Bourne. So Orleans has one of the better pitching staffs in the league. I don't care what the stats say. The eye test will tell you that. The strikeout guys are here. Just a bit of an off night. Bourne, a scorching hot offense, to use a pun that we usually use here on the Birds Broadcast Network, and they showed their might late in the stage last night.
And hey, today is a new day. The Firebirds will be taking on the Wareham Gatemen. And today, starting on the mound for Orleans, is Jake Peppers, the right-handed pitcher from Jacksonville State. His last outing was incredible. What should we be expecting from this pitcher, and how far do you think he might be going today?
Yeah, Peppers, who's really been very consistent in terms of his outings. 4 innings, not allowing a lot of any runs in his last 2 appearances. He's also been really good with the slider. He said after last start that his slider was the best it's ever been. If he can even have a 70-80% of that, along with a changeup and a fastball, Peppers is going to have his best stuff today and be good against the Wareham offense that has been great.
And even though Orleans and Wareham have faced each other, it doesn't really feel like we've had a game against them, because the game last time only went 5 innings due to lightning and rain. So what should we be expecting from this matchup that almost feels like a game 1?
It feels like a game where Wareham needs to win. I know Orleans is coming off a loss, but the Gatemen have lost 3 in a row, and they've been really tough to get wins on the road. They haven't won a game on the road since opening night. It's just kind of unbelievable. And, it is what it is for this Wareham team. But as Dylan mentioned, it's an offense that is among the top in the league in slugging percentage, in hitting home runs, and just driving the baseball deep into the outfield. So it's going to be a little difficult. Their pitching is not fantastic as a group. Offensively, they're very good. But on the road, they have not won games.
And Ian, like you mentioned, sometimes the bats are hot, sometimes they aren't. Right now, it's a little bit of a slower streak for them. But Dylan, is there a player that the Firebirds should be watching out for today?
Yeah, I think Jake Hyde. He can build on an RBI single in the top of the 9th inning of last night's 6-5 loss. He's been hitting the ball really hard, just hasn't kind of gotten his way this season so far. So if he can get hot, I think he can really lengthen out this order 1 through 9.
And guys, you know what time it is. I need the keys to the game. Ian, you're up first.
Jake Peppers needs to be on his A game, and I think he will be. But as we talked about, the only way Wareham's going to win this game is if their offense can overcome what's been a bit of a shaky start from their pitching. Peppers needs to go 4 innings once again, give up 2 earned runs or less, and be that guy he's been over his last 2 starts.
I love it. Peppers needs to be spicy on the mound today. Dylan, what about you?
I'll take the guys behind Peppers. The defense has to have a clean game, no mistakes, no mental mistakes in the field, and just keep it straight forward. Make the plays that you're supposed to.
Well, it should be a very exciting night tonight at Eldridge Park, but don't you worry, we'll have a lot more content on the Scorching Start.
All right, let's go to war, boys. You guys can get out.
I'm now joined alongside Firebirds manager Kelly Nicholson. Now, Coach, kind of an interesting game last night, especially in the first few innings. What are your biggest takeaways from last night's game?
Well, it was, they kind of gave us a couple runs early, and then we kind of gave them a few runs late. We didn't play well enough to win the game. We didn't run the bases well. We didn't pitch well enough. We didn't defend well. We hit and scored enough runs to win a game in the Cape League. But when you don't do 3 of the 4 things that you need to do to win a game, you're going to come out of the short end of the stick, and that's what happened last night.
Now, definitely a positive was Eddie King Jr. He came in at the 7th, had a huge out, and then he put a run on the board as well. What does it mean to have a player who's always ready no matter what in the dugout?
Yeah, Eddie's a starter. We can only start 9s. He's in the lineup tonight. He made a great play in center field last night. He can really run. It's just taken him a little while to get going offensively, but I think once he gets going, he's gonna go. He's a really good player. He's got a good heartbeat for the game. Doesn't get really excited. Doesn't ever get real down. So he's gonna. I think this next month is going to be really good for Eddie.
It's definitely going to be exciting to see what he does. And a player that's making their start tonight on the mound for you guys is Jake Peppers. He had a great start against YD last week. What should we be expecting from the Jacksonville State pitcher tonight?
Well, it's going to be his last start. He's going to go home for the draft. We're going to try to extend him a little bit. Nothing crazy, but if we can get 75 to 85 pitches out of him, we're going to let him go a little bit. He's good, man. He likes to compete. He likes to pitch. We're going to let him pitch tonight.
And even though you guys saw Wareham in the beginning of the season, it was only a 5-inning game. So in a weird way, it kind of feels like game 1 against them.
Yes.
What should we be expecting from this team?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know, to be honest with you. They're going to be good. They're always good. I don't know what their record is. I think they're a game or two above 500. Ryan does a good job over there. When he was with Brewster, and he's the new skipper over there. We don't have a lot of data on them. Obviously, we didn't get eyeballs on them. We only played 5 innings, like you said. So we don't really worry too much, Sammy, about the opponent. We just want to play well. Do those 4 things well. And if we do those 4 things, I don't think it matters who we're playing. We're going to come out on top.
Well, hopefully the Firebirds do those 4 things tonight. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck.
You bet. Thank you, Sammy.
Hey, set the tone, boys.
I'm now joined alongside UC Irvine's Joe Oyama. Now, Joe, of course, last night wasn't the outcome you guys wanted, but you had a strong night, a run and 3 hits. How are you feeling in the batter's box?
Well, even though we lost, but we did good, offensively, I guess. So, yeah, I felt good at the play, and then I had 3 hits. Yeah, I felt good.
And you've been in the leadoff position for about the last 2 weeks. So how awesome does it feel to really have that trust from your coaching staff?
Well, it's awesome. I've been leading off since Austin left, and then I'm trying to get on the base, and then trying to help the team to win. So yeah, it's awesome.
And you made your debut against Wareham a few weeks ago. So how cool is it to be back here, and how much you've grown so far as well?
Well, my first day, I think I made 2 errors and I did bad. So hopefully, today I just play well, and then hopefully we win.
And what do you think the types of adjustments that you've been making that has really helped you find your groove with the Orleans Firebirds?
Well, it's more I guess trying to keep energy up, as a team, even myself, trying to more have fun, enjoy the moment, not worry about result, yeah.
And speaking of having fun, you and Matt Hallback look like you guys are always having a ton of fun. How awesome is it to have him here with you?
It's awesome, we played together last summer, and then we've just keep in touch, even at the school. So he's super cool, yeah.
And how have you been enjoying the Cape so far, even outside of baseball?
Well, we don't have much day off, so I just lift or just spend time with my teammates. So it's fun.
Well, hopefully we get through the game today and you get an off day soon. Maybe head down to the beach. Well,
hopefully, yeah, hopefully that's what I'm looking for.
There you go. Well, thank you so much and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
That'll do it for another edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. Make sure you tune in at 6:30 when the Orleans Firebirds take on the Wareham Gatemen.